Live results from The Voice Season 28 blind auditions. See who advances. A new group of talented hopefuls is ready to sing for their lives on The Voice. Season 28 begins tonight, September 22nd, 2025, as megastar coaches Snoop Dogg, Reba McEntire, Niall Horan, and Michael Bublé battle over the artists they want on their teams. The 2-hour episode tonight features the first blind auditions of the season, and we've got live results coverage, updated throughout the evening. Follow along or catch up on what you missed. Season 28 kicked off with the coach's epic performance of The Joker, before host Carson Daly welcomed all four to take their seats in their iconic red chairs. As they got situated, the first contestant of the night introduced himself backstage to producers. The Voice Season 28 blind audition, Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross, 20, a sophomore at Texas A&M University, shared the musical instruments he has in his dorm and gave a tour of his family's farm. Standing backstage with his parents, he said that all of the coaches are legends, and he'd be happy with just one chair turn. Within seconds of Ross beginning to sing Adele's Love in the Dark, all four coaches turned around for him. First Snoop, quickly followed by Bublé, McEntire, and then Horan, and Daly said, "It doesn't get much better than that." Horan adorably asked Ross, "What planet are you from?" And McEntire told Ross his voice was mesmerizing, and Bublé said it was obvious that all of them were enchanted by him. Snoop then called him Aiden Ross the Boss, reminded him it took him 1.3 seconds to turn his chair, and promised he'd work closely with him after the show. That inspired Horan to make another plea to Ross to join his team, insisting he could be in the finals. But they made us wait through a commercial break for the decision. The sweet talk from Horan worked. Aiden Ross is on Team Niall. The Voice Season 28 blind audition, Mindy Miller. The second artist to take the stage for blind auditions was Nashville mom and Maryland native Mindy Miller, who said making a team would be absolutely life-changing. For the second time in a row, Snoop turned within a second of the song starting, as Miller sang Lainey Wilson's Wildflowers and Wild Horses. McEntire turned, too, only to discover that Snoop, who was standing up at his chair for Miller, had already used his block on her. She hilariously scolded him, saying, "I'm going to take all of your Skittles. No more Skittles for you." Snoop said he loved what he heard right away and loved what he saw when he turned around. As Snoop gave her one of his death row chains as a gift, Miller's little boy, Leo, ran out onto the stage, and Snoop adorably picked him to celebrate. Mindy Miller is on Team Snoop. The Voice Season 28 blind audition, Max Chambers. After a bit of fun banter with the coaches, during which Bublé and Horan reminded the others they'd both been on the show twice and won twice, Snoop adorably begged them to just let him win one. We were then taken back to the stage for the third audition of the night, and Bublé immediately noticed the artist sounded very young. He was right. When he turned his chair, he saw 14-year-old Max Chambers of Shreveport, Louisiana. He looked adorable in a powder blue suit, belting out Michael Jackson's "I Want You Back." As soon as he hit the chorus, McEntire quickly turned too. Horan and Snoop instantly looked like they regretted not turning their chairs, especially when Chambers revealed that he played a young Michael Jackson on Broadway in MJ the Musical. In the end, Chambers chose Bublé as his coach, who was thrilled. Max Chambers is on Team Bublé. The Voice Season 28 blind audition, Manny Costello. After a commercial break, we immediately met girl dad Manny Costello, 28, from Athens, Georgia. He said he'd be singing Craig Morgan's Almost Home, which he said gives him a good perspective on life, choking up as he talked about his girls, who are big fans of McEntire. Tearing up as he described how much he loves being with them each day. Costello said he wanted to show them that you can put anything you put your mind to. Costello noted that he's new to music and basically only plays at home, but you couldn't tell it from his performance. As soon as Costello hit the chorus of the song, McEntire turned her chair, quickly followed by Snoop. McEntire sweetly told Costello, "You made me homesick." As she told him he had pieces of many great classic country artists in his voice, from George Jones to Randy Travis, she got choked up. Snoop handed her some tissues, and she said that they were tears of joy. Horan said it was amazing that he'd moved the queen of country music to tears. Not surprisingly, Costello was moved by how much his voice resonated with McEntire, so he chose her team. Manny Costello is on Team Reba. The Voice Season 28 Blind Audition, REB. After another commercial break, The Voice returned with a quick story of my life audience sing-along led by Bublé, before introducing 30-year-old REB from Detroit. Ari called herself a mail lady, and producers showed her driving her USPS truck and delivering mail back home. She shared that she started singing songs with the words changed to be about the mail, which inspired her to create Mail Lady Mondays on social media. Her mom, Monica, adorably bragged that she went viral 3 times. Ari's 8-year-old son AJ was also along for the audition, and he sweetly told producers, "Her singing is very beautiful and I like her songs." As she took the stage, Ari said that a chair turn would change her life, and that she knew being a mail carrier was not her ultimate destiny. She then launched into Aaliyah's Are You That Somebody? But unfortunately, none of the coaches turned their chairs. Horan told her afterwards that there were some pitch issues, and Snoop said he wished she had sung something more soulful. Some of that Detroit soul. As Ari left the stage, Horan and Snoop continued to talk about how she likely would have made it through with another song. The Voice Season 28 Blind Audition, DK of Hearts. After a funny skit in which McEntire angrily told Horan backstage that she was annoyed he'd taken a mini vacation from The Voice and to back off because she needed a win, the next artists took the stage. Yep, that's plural artists. A trio called DK of Hearts took the stage, singing Heads Carolina, Tails California, and McEntire instantly looked impressed with their harmonies. Almost immediately, she turned her chair followed by Horan, Snoop, and then Bublé. The trio's rousing performance got all 4 coaches to give them a standing ovation. The group then explained that their name, DK of Hearts, is for Dylan, Emily, and Colin, and that they currently all live in Nashville, playing at bars. Colin explained that they've been a group for 14 months. After Snoop and Horan spoke about how impressed they were, McEntire hilariously got out of her seat and said it was her turn to talk, telling them, "I love 3-part harmonies. It touches the core of my being. I can't tell you how important this is to me for y'all to be on my team. Y'all are going to make it to the finals," she predicted, "and on my team I hope. Bublé, Horan, and Snoop tried hard to convince them to join their team, but McEntire pulled out a trick, asking the crowd what they thought. The audience then hilariously pulled out fans with McEntire's face on them. In a huge shock, though, Deck of Hearts said they're a country pop trio, so they chose Horan, who looked absolutely stunned. He later called it one of the biggest shocks in voice history, and that the whole room could not believe it. McEntire sprawled out on the floor in defeat, pretending to sob. But DK of Hearts is on Team Niall. The Voice Season 28 Blind Audition, Peyton Kyle. After a break, The Voice returned with a Freddie Mercury lookalike in a rhinestone-covered black jacket, who introduced Dawn and Susan Parr with him backstage, whom he described as the sweetest couple I've ever met in my life. The artist, 26-year-old Peyton Kyle, explained that when he moved from Tampa, Florida, to Georgia 3 years prior, they attended one of his shows and became huge supporters. After a show, they gave Kyle a $400 tip to do whatever he needed to do to try out for The Voice. He actually started crying, Dawn told producers. "He's just like one of our kids. We love him to death." After revealing that he'd been in the hospital days earlier, undergoing surgery for a ruptured appendix when he arrived in Los Angeles, Kyle took the stage. He started out softly, but McEntire heard something she liked and hit her button. But no one else did. Horan looked pained about it on Kyle's last note, telling him once he turned around, "I'm kicking myself." All that mattered, though, was that Kyle will get to continue on the show with a country superstar as his coach. Peyton Kyle is on Team Reba. The Voice Season 28 Blind Audition, Ralph Edwards. The next artist, 30-year-old Ralph Edwards from Fresno, California, revealed he has watched The Voice since it began in 2011 and has auditioned 11 times. "But this is the farthest I've ever gotten. Today is going to be the biggest nerve-wracking day of my life because I'm auditioning for the biggest show in the world," he told producers. "I'm going to put my entire body and soul into making those chairs turn around, but I'm very nervous." As he sang Journey's Lights, All four coaches hit their buttons, and his parents and girlfriend went crazy backstage with Daly as they did. "That is how you audition for The Voice," Horan told him, before they all passionately made cases for being Edward's coach. McEntire told him it was a perfect performance, and Bublé predicted, "Whoever you choose is gonna win The Voice." Snoop even brought out members of his music family, who are on his record label to show Edwards he's serious about signing artists he loves. That seemed to do the trick, because Edwards chose him as his coach. Ralph Edwards is on Team Snoop. The Voice Season 28 Blind Audition, Jack Austin. Next up in the blind auditions was 21-year-old Jack Austin from Battle Creek, Michigan. Involved in theater since he was a kid, Austin is a student at Western Michigan University, studying musical theater. He made a bold decision to sing Horan's This Town in front of him, admitting he was really nervous but excited. Horan smiled as he heard his song, and Bublé almost immediately turned his chair, followed by Horan. McEntire eventually turned, too. Once the song was over, Horan cutely said, "Thank you for the song. I really appreciate it." He told Austin he loved his melody choices, and then suggested they sing part of it together. It was beautiful, and Austin said it was a dream come true. Bublé knew after that it was a lost cause to even try to fight for Austin, and he was right. He chose his new duet partner as his coach. Team Niall gets Jack Austin. The Voice Season 28 Blind Audition, Ryan Mitchell. After a break, it was time to rock out with 29-year-old Ryan Mitchell of Los Angeles. He talked about playing in a band with his brother, starting at age 8, and knew what he wanted to do for the rest of his life. Mitchell said he sings a lot of alternative rock and pop punk, so he decided to perform Cigarette Daydreams by Cage the Elephant. Mitchell then opened up about how he went through a dark period during COVID, becoming dependent on alcohol and pushing away his family and friends, even living out on the street for a while. "Eventually I decided I needed to reach out for help," he said, and his dad told producers it was super tragic because he was the happiest kid you could ever imagine. Still sober 4 years later, Mitchell said, "I think music really kind of saved my life," adding that getting help was one of the best things I've ever done. Unfortunately, Mitchell didn't get a chair turn during his performance. Bublé told him that he loved his voice but that he was nervous it was so stylized, and that he wondered if he would be able to sing other types of music. Horan also said he wished he could hear more texture to his voice. As each of the coaches tried to explain why they didn't turn their chairs, producers kept showing Daly looking agitated backstage, standing with Mitchell's parents. Once Mitchell left the stage, Daly surprised him with a new feature called the Carson Callback. Explaining to Mitchell that he was frustrated the coaches didn't select him, Daly said he had the power to bring one artist back to try out again, in 24 hours. Mitchell was absolutely shocked. Presumably, he'll be back for a second blind audition on the September 23rd episode. The Voice Season 28 Blind Audition, Jazz McKenzie. Next up, 31-year-old Jazz McKenzie from Birmingham, Alabama, revealed her big personality right out of the gate. She works at a cell phone store but performs occasionally. Her family watches The Voice all the time, her mom said backstage. "And to know my baby is here, she's a part of it, I just can't even contain how much joy I have." McKenzie then sweetly said she's doing it for her mom, whom she called my favorite singer of all time. She then went out to perform Tina Turner's What's Love Got to Do With It. As she hit the powerful chorus, McEntire turned her chair and subtly blocked Snoop. McKenzie got a 4-chair turn, and Horan tried to point out to Snoop that he was blocked, but it didn't register with him. When the coaches finally explained, he hilariously said he just thought his name was in red and hadn't read the word blocked. McEntire then told McKenzie, "When a singer starts singing and it shoots through the air at someone's heart, you know that person's truly blessed, and I was hit so hard by your beautiful voice. I'd love to have you on my team, but wherever you wind up, The Voice is very blessed to have you." Bublé then amusingly said he felt like if he only had the luck of the Irish on his side like Horan and McEntire, he might get someone to choose his team. Suddenly, 3 Irish dancers came out to do a jig, and Horan joined in. Snoop and Bublé tried their best, dancing their own steps. Incredibly, it seemed to have worked because McKenzie chose Bublé. Jazz McKenzie is on Team Bublé.